Hi and welcome. Welcome here to Heal Within with me, Dr. Evette Rose, trauma therapist and also creator of Metaphysical Anatomy Technique. And this podcast is your safe space to explore emotional healing, nervous system repair, and also deep inner transformation. And if you are ready to go deeper, I would like to also support you through that journey. And you can book a one-on-one session with me or with any of my meta psychology coaching practitioners. Or you can join us for one of our upcoming healing events, whether it's a workshop or a healing retreat at metaphysicalanatomy.com. Now let's begin your journey back to wholeness, one breath and one breakthrough at a time. And today we're going to dive deep into a topic that connects emotional wounds from our early years with real, measurable impacts in our body. And I want to walk you through how unresolved attachment trauma not only dysregulates the nervous system, but it also disrupts immune function. And what you now can start to begin to do to perhaps even reverse that. Let's begin with the foundational truth. Your nervous system and your immune system are deeply connected. If one gets thrown off balance, the other is inevitably going to follow. So when the nervous system is, for example, stuck in fear or this feeling of hypervigilance, you're ready for that other shoe to always drop, stuck in survival mode, especially from early life attachment wounds, that stress keeps the immune system on high alert. And over time, this ongoing alarm, it contributes to chronic inflammation, autoimmunity, and even neurological symptoms like brain fog, fatigue, and my goodness, the list can go on. So here's the neuroscience behind it. And we're going to look at how childhood fear actually primes the brain. You see, early attachment trauma, it doesn't just affect your relationships. It reshapes your nervous system. It rewires your immune responses, and it also programs your body to live in inflammation. So many of us walk around carrying this stress, this chronic fatigue, autoimmune systems, and emotional overwhelm. And then we blame ourselves, thinking that we're just sensitive or we're not resilient enough. And then the self-punishment starts. Sounds familiar, right? But there's real science behind what is actually happening in your body. And it also begins with how you first experienced safety. How you first experienced safety or fear in your early relationships. Let's look first at the psychology of attachment trauma. Let's start with attachment. Right? So your attachment style is built during your earliest years. And this is going to shape how your caregivers, for example, responded to your needs. Were you held when you, for example, were crying? Were you comforted when you were afraid? Or were you ignored, shamed, or punished, or emotionally maybe abandoned? You see, when those early needs for emotional safety aren't met consistently, the child's brain begins to actually wire around one strong core belief. And that is that the world is not safe. And I am not safe in it. You see, this becomes that operating system behind that anxious, avoidant, or disorganized attachment patterns. And it doesn't just live in your mind. It lives in your nervous system. Now, how this shows up in the nervous system, now that's another ballgame. You see, when a baby feels unsafe and that fear isn't soothed, the amygdala, which is our brain's fear center, actually becomes overactive. And what happens then is the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, the HPA axis. That's the part of the brain where your body's central stress response system starts firing more and more and more, even to the point where it starts to fire in low threat situations. And over time, this is going to create a nervous system dysregulation, meaning that your body actually gets stuck in survival mode. When you're stuck in the fight response, we know that there's anger, there's defensiveness, When you're stuck in the flight response, that's anxiety, perfectionism. When you're stuck in the freeze response, that's numbness and procrastination. When you're stuck in the fawn response, that's people-pleasing and self-abandonment. You see, you might not remember the trauma cognitively, but your body does. And your nervous system is constantly scanning the environment asking, am I safe now? Can I let go? Or do I need to brace myself for impact again? And where is the impact? You see, the neuroimmune connection matters. It's very important. Here's why it's important. You see, this is where neuroscience gets really interesting because your nervous system and your immune system, they're in constant communication. We know that. They are part of the same network that governs your stress response. So when one is dysregulated, the other one becomes dysregulated as well. And here is how we can start to prime the nervous system and the body. So let's have a look at this dysregulation process and what is actually happening. So first we're going to look right into the primed microglia. That's the brain's immune cells. Now in early trauma, certain immune cells in the brain, which is called the microglia, they become primed and they are responsible for basically cleaning up waste and supporting learning and memory. But when they are primed by stress, they become hyper-reactive. Think almost of the microglia as the brain's housekeepers, right? In a healthy state, they keep it clean, right? They clear out waste, they prune, unnecessary neural network connections and support learning as well, including memory. But when they are exposed to early fear, they become overly sensitive. These primed microglia now actually act like an overactive smoke alarm. It's going off at every minor stressor, right? Now, once this microglia are primed, they don't unprime. They can calm down. They can return to a resting state. But science is showing that they will almost like be quite reactive, more reactive at least than before. And this is one way that trauma literally changes the way that your brain and immune system operate. So instead of quietly supporting the brain's health, they actually start releasing inflammatory cytokines, causing neuroinflammation. Now, this is what leads to symptoms, for example, like brain fog, decision fatigue, mood swings, cognitive burnout, emotional reactivity as well. So once these microglia are primed in childhood, they don't necessarily go back to their unprimed state. They can rest, but their default is now more sensitive. And the more stress you experience in your adult life, the more easily they're going to get triggered again. You see, this is where and how trauma can create a loop, right? Fear equals inflammation equals more stress as well. So here's the cycle that plays out. When we have early attachment trauma, it creates that fear-based wiring in the brain. That fear activates the HPA axis, keeping the nervous system on high alert. Now, chronic stress causes the primed microglia and immune dysregulation. Now, the body becomes stuck in inflammation mode, not healing mode. Now, you see, inflammation is sending these stress signals back to the brain, reinforcing the fear. And also round and round we go. So why does this matter for the immune system? You see, microglia are actually part of your immune system. So when they are on high alert, they release inflammatory chemicals, which can now actually spill over into the rest of your body. Now that means that your immune system gets stuck in that almost like attack mode. And not because of a virus or a bacteria, but because your body perceives emotional stress as a threat. Now here's where it gets a little bit tricky. You see, early childhood fear doesn't just live in the past. Even if you feel that you've consciously moved on. If that fear was never truly processed, your immune system might actually still be operating as if though that danger is still present. That's how unresolved trauma contributes to conditions like autoimmune diseases, chronic fatigue, anxiety, pain disorders that can start to surface decades later. So let's touch on some signs that you're stuck in inflammation mode. Example, if you often feel like your brain goes offline, right? If you struggle with decision fatigue or brain fog, if you get reactive, tired, or sick quite easily after small stressors, for example, maybe like skipping a meal. It's just simple, right? But let me tell you, for many, it's not that simple. And also if you sleep poorly. This could also be because of deprived microglia and the immune dysregulation that is strongly at play here. So you see, with conscious awareness of understanding and knowing where you are at in your life, and to not attack that, to not judge that, but to know that every day you're actually doing your best, even though it doesn't feel like it. God, let me tell you, I know. Just taking the judgment out of it and staying curious and starting to develop that solution-oriented mindset. I always tell myself, it doesn't matter what problem I have, there's going to be a solution. You see, there's an opposite polarity to everything in life. Where there's sunlight, there's darkness. Where there's happiness, there's sadness. And so where there's a problem, there's a solution. It's just a matter of sometimes being patient enough until we find it. And the big breakthrough that I felt personally for myself was realizing that you can't be in a solution-oriented mindset when you feel disempowered, when you feel things are never going to work out for me. You see, this is a really important shift that I also had to create in my life in order to align myself more with solutions, or at least being able to have my awareness switched gears, to be able to see it, to take it in. And what I would love to do with you now is to actually take you through a healing meditation that can help the immune system to slow down, to relax a little bit more, and to get your nervous system to take a deep breath and exhale. Instead of just holding it all in, exhale. So when you are ready, I invite you now to lie down, or you can sit up, whatever you feel most comfortable with. Because remember, your soul remembers the parents that your spirit longed for. So we're gently going to now return to that today, knowing that. Let's take a nice deep breath. Very good. If you want to, if you feel comfortable, you can begin by closing your eyes very gently. And just continue to focus on your breath. Just notice as you're breathing, as you're exhaling and inhaling. And notice and see if you can become so quiet, so still, that you can feel your heartbeat. And notice as you're breathing in, filling your lungs with the breath of life, and breathing out, releasing any tension from them. allowing your body to soften. Allowing your shoulders to drop. Feel your jaw and the lining of it just relaxing. Allow your heart to ever so slightly, slowly start to open. Bringing your awareness now to the center of your chest. Feel the rhythm of your breath, almost like waves that's gently rising and rising and falling. And now, I invite you to imagine that you're standing in a vast, safe meadow, surrounded by the beautiful scent of wildflowers, the soft warmth, golden light of the sun, and feeling stillness, almost like as if though it's a sacred presence there with you. And notice as well that while you are there, you're not alone. Notice from your left side, a presence begins to emerge. Gentle, nurturing, deeply familiar. This is the presence of the Divine Mother. And she comes not from your past, but from your soul's memory of unconditional love, safety, and complete acceptance. She radiates compassion, so pure that you can feel your inner child lean forward almost instinctively. And noticing how she's opening up her arms and how that inner child embraces her. And she embraces you. There's no judgment. There's no expectation. Just love. Let yourself be held. And let your inner child also be held. Feel how she whispers into your heart. You were never too much. You were never too little. I see you. And I love you. And you are safe with me. Feel her soothing presence wash over every place in your nervous system. That nervous system that once braced for disappointment or rejection. Feel her hands on your back, telling your body, you're not alone. And now, to the right, another presence appears. Strong, grounding, and steady. This is the Divine Father. His energy is protective. It's safe. And it's warm. Not controlling. Not absent. Not angry. He walks toward you with kindness in his eyes and steady devotion in his steps. He kneels before your inner child and holds your hand, saying, "You are worthy of my love." I will stay with you. You were never a burden. You are my joy. Feel those words. Let it settle in every single cell in your body. Let it flow through the nervous system. And notice as you're exhaling, that fight and flight leaves with it. Leaves your body with your breath. Creating space for the presence of true safety that is unconditional, pure, and stable. Feeling the Divine Father now standing behind you, almost like a shield, like a guardian. And the Divine Mother stands before you, soft, radiant, and loving. And realizing now, in that moment, that you are surrounded in perfect balance. You are held, protected, and nourished, and seen. Breathe into this moment, allowing their love to pour through you, almost like golden light flowing through every wound, every stressful memory, every unmet need. Filling that, healing that. And you can even imagine them standing behind you during moments of fear, walking beside you during moments of challenge, whispering encouragement when you doubt your worth, because you no longer walk alone. These divine archetypes are living inside of you, and you can call them in at any time. And now, as you gently start to come back, you can bring them with you. Bring their presence with you. Bringing your awareness back to the present moment. Also, before you open up your eyes, place your hand over your heart and repeat silently or out loud, I am safe to be loved. I am worthy of care and devotion. I release the past and receive new nurturing now. I am whole. I am healing. I am held. Take one more deep breath in. Gently open. Well done. You have now returned, but something within you has shifted, and your inner child has now been seen. And love, real unconditional love, is now part of your healing story. And remember that you're not alone. You are healing, one step at a time, one breath at a time as well. And remember that if this episode touched you, then please share it also with someone who is perhaps also on their healing journey. And as always, breathe deep, listen within, and always stay gently curious. And the affirmation for today is, I release the past and I receive new nurturing now. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your love and your energy. And I look forward to seeing you in our next episode. And until then, be the light that you are.